How you doing, everybody? Nick DiVirgilio here, and today's video is on the Roland VAD506 electronic drum kit. Let's go. Roland makes some of the best, if not the best, electronic drums in the world. And they've really stepped up their game again with this new drum kit, the VAD, which stands for V-Drum, V, Acoustic Design. Acoustic Design, which means, sort of looks like, well, not sort of, it looks like a real drum kit. Real wood shells with the pads and the sensors, everything built into the shells. You could change the heads, you could take the heads off, just like a regular drum kit. It looks and feels, you know, when you play drums, I think with any instrument really, even if it's a piano, a guitar, whatever, a bass, looks matter because it gives you a vibe and a feeling when you sit behind the instrument, when you want to play, especially drums. I think drummers, it's really important. You get inspired by the look of your kit. Sound is the most important thing, of course, but the looks really do matter. And this Roland VAD kit looks killer. Nice sparkly black finish, real sizes of the drums. This particular kit has a 10-inch and a 12-inch rack tom, a 14-inch floor tom, 14-inch snare drum, and a 20-inch kick drum. Those are all proper drum sizes. For the cymbals, you get an 18-inch ride cymbal, 14 and 16-inch crashes, and the hi-hats are 12 inches in diameter. One thing they did with the cymbals that is very cool is they made them thinner to mimic more of the feel of a real cymbal. So, look, you could actually bend these a little bit, okay? You're not messing up or ruining the cymbal or damaging the cymbal in any way, but that feel makes it so you can kind of lay into the cymbal more, lay into the pad. It doesn't hurt your wrist or your form at all, because sometimes in the old school days of electronic drums and cymbals, when you hit the cymbal, you know, it didn't give at all. So you sometimes could feel it in your wrist and in your forearm. These cymbals and these pads, you don't feel that you don't get any fatigue in your hands, which is a great thing. Let me quickly talk about the feel of the kick drum. The pad is right in the center of the head, and the feel of it is kind of squishy to mimic the feel of the beater going into, they call it burying the beater on a regular acoustic drum, right? It's when you put the beater on the head, the stroke of the beater hits the head, and it stays there. It doesn't flutter or bounce back unless you play that kind of technique, of course. But a lot of times, especially when you're playing rock music, the beater is supposed to hit the head and stay there. And this pad really mimics that feel very well. And with a felt beater, or even with the plastic beater, it's not too loud. We're gonna get into the great sounds of this kit in just a second, but I also wanna mention that you get all of the hardware you're looking at here, except for a couple of things, so let's get into that right now. The cymbal stands, full-on, heavy-duty, double-braced cymbal stands and tom mounts. These are really nice, easily adjustable. They hold your drums in any position you want. You also get great cymbal angles, so these are really nice cymbal stands. You can use these on your acoustic kit as well if you wanted to. It doesn't come with a hi-hat stand or a snare stand. You have to supply those yourselves, but that's typical with electronic drum kits as well. You get the clamp that holds on the TD27 sound module, and then you're ready to go. It's very easy to set up. There's not too many cables. One final thing I want to mention about the kit is there's two versions of the VAD kit. The 506, which you're looking at right now, and the 503. The 503 has one less tom. You do not get the 12-inch rack tom, and you don't get the extra crash cymbal. That will save you a little bit of money if budget is an issue at the start. But with the TD27, you can always expand your kit later on down the line and add more drums, more cymbals, and just have a huge kit eventually. All right, we've talked about the drums, what you get with the VAD506. Now let's talk about the sounds you get with the TD27 sound module. A point of reference for you here, I did a previous video on the TD27 KV drum kit and went through the sounds of the TD27 and got kind of into the weeds with how you could use the TD27 sound module. I'm gonna leave the link for that video at the bottom of this one, so you can always revert back to that one so you can get some more information about the TD27 on its own. First thing I'm gonna do is just play some of the sounds, and then we'll get into some details here in a second. So I'm just gonna go through a bunch of the kits, and let's have some fun. Here we go. So hopefully you can tell by those few examples there how many great sounds are in the TD27. They've really concentrated a lot on acoustic drum sounds. A lot of times when you get an electronic drum sound module, you get acoustic drums, electronic drums, and all kinds of other things. You do get other things in the TD27 as well. There are electronic sounds and stuff like that, but they really focused on acoustic sounds to kind of couple with the look of the drum kits. You're going to get a lot of variation on acoustic drum samples. You can also add your own sounds as much as you want with an SD card just like this. There's an SD card slot right on the side of the machine. You can add in your own sounds and build your own library that way. The TD27 also has USB MIDI. Now I'm attached to my MacBook Pro over here, my computer, and I'm going through Pro Tools because I'm using the USB MIDI function of the TD27 as a recording interface. It is so cool and very easy to do. All you do is download the driver off the Roland website, install it onto your computer, and voila, they're talking to each other right away. It was no problem to get them talking to each other. Pro Tools saw it right away. It was super simple to do, which is very cool. There's over 700 instruments in the TD27. You got at least 100 kick drum samples alone, and it's really easy to go through and audition different sounds. Let's do that real quick. The TD27 comes with 55 preset drum kits. Then from 56 on to 100 are user presets, so that's where you can customize your own stuff. It's really simple to change sounds of a kit. Hit whatever instrument you want to work on. We'll start with the kick drum. Hit it, turn the instrument knob, the sounds come up. You start adjusting. Let's go through some of the sounds of the kick drum. They really picked out some very cool samples. So you get real acoustic sounding like dry in a room, then all kinds of different mic placements on the drums. You definitely get room sound, ambience, all kinds of stuff. Very dry sounds. Now we're getting to some of the electronic and different hybrid sounds of drums. Sounds that will get you into EDM music, hip-hop music, all kinds of stuff like that as well. Then towards the end of the kick drums, you get into your electronic sounds like I was mentioning before. Again, lots of variation. And that goes with all of the other drums in the kit. One thing maybe you could tell when I was playing the examples of the different drum kits earlier is how realistic the cymbal sounds are. I'm going to go back to kit number 1. They're calling it premium wood, and I just want you to hear the decay of the crash cymbals and the ride cymbal and how long the decay is. Very natural sounding. Check this out. A very nice, realistic decay of all the cymbal sounds. Great stuff. Editing the other elements of the drum kit is just as easy as changing the sounds with the instrument knob. If you want the level to change, just do that with the level knob. Change the tuning, same thing. A very cool feature is the muffling knob. Now, that muffling that's when you put dampening on the drums, right? Moon gel, tape, any of those kinds of things on an acoustic drum. They gave you a lot of different options for muffling on the different drums. So let me give you some examples on the snare drum. This particular sound is wide open, no muffling. And what they did is they give you really small increments of dampening as they go through all the way up to completely dead. So check it out. You can really get in there and customize your sound exactly how you want it. With that being said, I want to show you how easy it is to make a custom drum kit, and then after I make that custom kit, I'm going to play along to a song from my band, Big Big Train. So let's get into it right now. Now, I've already went through this to save some time on this video, and I've made myself a few notes here on the paper, so I know exactly where I'm going to go to. But when you customize a kit, just dive in there and start listening to every sound, and you'll find the ones you want. Again, it's really simple. First thing I'm going to do is start with the kick. Hit the instrument you want, then get to the instrument knob. Start turning. The sound I want is number 11. Plastic beater K. There you go. Snare drum, just hit the instrument, turn the knob. I want to go to number 106, maple open snare. Very good. What makes it easy going through the hats and the cymbals when you are customizing your kit, when I hit the hi-hat cymbal and it goes to that sound, and then I change to a different sound on the TD27, it'll automatically give me the closed sound, the open sound, the chick sound. They'll all come together. You don't have to individually get all of those three, unless you want to. You can do that as well. But they make it easy. Well, it all comes in one package. So here we go. I need to go to number 3, 2, 3. Very simple. See, again, all the sounds changed that I needed. Rack number 1, going to number 239. This is a beach drum, 10-inch. I want to stay with that, so we're going to go to number 243, which is the 13-inch rack tom of the beach. Right, let's get to the floor tom, to the 16-inch. Those are really nice sounding tom-toms. Very cool. Now let's set up the cymbals. My first crash, I want to go to number 382. It's a dark crash. Okay. My ride cymbal is going to be 355. Bright ride. Nice. And the last crash is number 372. It's already there. Silvery crash. All good sounds all around. The next thing I want to do here is go through the tuning of the drums, because it gives you that option, and find the exact pitch of all the drums. Kick drum is good. The snare drum, I'm going to bring down just a little bit. Take the tuning knob. There's really extreme. I just want to go down a few notches to -3. Cool. Hi-hats. My notes say 15, so we're going to go there. The rack tom, this first one, I'm going to bring it up a little bit. Obviously, you can go really high if you want to. I'm just going to go to about 5. Just to get that first rack tom a little bit higher pitched than the rest. Then you get a nice tone interval from the high to low. The rest of the toms I'm keeping exactly the way they are. And my cymbals are going to stay the way they are. So that's it for the tuning. Next thing, let's work on the muffling. Kick drum, I like the way it is, but I definitely know I'm going to change the snare. So right now the muffling is off, and I'm going to go to tape number 5. So that's the one I want. You can hear I definitely took away some of the decay of the sound. Back to off. You hear it ringing more. Tape 5. I like that right there. Just to take off that decay a little bit so it's a little more precise when you're playing it. The first rack tom I'm going to leave with no muffling. The second one I'm going to put to tape 3. And the third, the floor tom, to tape 3. Now let's hear all 3 toms. Now, even though I put the tape 3 muffling on there, on the second rack and the floor tom, they still have decay. You can hear it. To me, they're singing together really well. So that's good there. And then finally, we're going to work on the level of each drum, because you can manipulate how loud each drum is as well. Go to your level knob. I know I'm going to turn up the kick drum just a little bit more. And I'm going to turn up the snare drum a tiny bit. And I know I wanted the rack tom a little bit louder to fit with the other two toms. The cymbals are going to come down. I'm finding a lot of times going through the drum kits in the TD27 that the cymbals can be a little bit hot when you put it all together. So I'm just bringing them all down just a couple of dB. It's not much at all. And there you go, everybody. That's my custom kit. Super easy to do. Grab the knobs, find your instrument, tune it up or down, give it some muffling, find the level you want, and then you're good to go. Sweet. One last thing I want to show you in the editing features, which is super cool, and I highly suggest you check it out before I play the song. Inside the TD27, you have all kinds of options for effects, for room sounds, overhead mic placement, and all kinds of things. This is where you can really focus in on all the details of the sound and really manipulate it to exactly what you want. Hit the Kit Edit button. You'll have a lot of editing options here. Use your up and down and left and right arrows to go to the different spots. And whenever one of those spots is highlighted, if you hit Enter, it would go into that edit window of that particular feature. Hit the Exit button just to get out of that, to go to somewhere else. What I want to show you here is the overhead feature. See, overhead is highlighted now. Hit Enter, and now you're inside that edit window of that particular feature. Right now, the overhead feature is off. See how the picture of the kit and the mics is covered up? That's what it looks like when it's off, so you'll know it's off. Turn it back on, you're good to go. What you can do in here is manipulate where the overhead mics are in relation to the kit, either lower or higher, how wide the kit sounds. This is really cool. So to adjust those features, again, use the arrows, the up and down arrows. There's your type. Turn the jog wheel and make the changes. So you get 4 types of mics. And 4 width types. That really makes a big difference. So the higher number in the width setting really opens up the sound of the drum kit. Again, let's check that out one more time. It's on number 1 now, and I'll go up to 4, and you can really hear the sound change. So cool that you can manipulate the room sound like that. It's a really great feature. I'm going to keep the setting on number 3 to give the open sound of the drum kit. And with all those changes, this is the sound of my custom kit. There you have it, everybody. The Roland VAD506 electronic drum kit. Again, remember there's the VAD503 without the second rack tom and the second cymbal. You have a couple options depending what your budget can afford. A lot of fun to play these drums. A great TD27 sound module. Acoustic looking drums, acoustic feeling drums. Tons of great sounds. You can have a lot of fun with this kit in the studio, on the live stage, wherever you want to go. So now to take out this video, I'm going to play along to a song from my band Big Big Train. The song is called Pantheon off of our Grand Tour record. If you want any more information about this Roland product or any other Roland product, just contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Click right here for more videos just like these, or start at sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs.